Hello dear traders, welcome to IFC Markets. You are watching weekly market overview by IFC Markets. The previous week was marked by a considerable strengthening of the dollar against all major counterparts. Among the major currencies, the greatest losses were recorded on the Japanese yen, minus 3.7%, and the Australian dollar, minus 3.5%. The Canadian dollar lost 2.7%. The European currencies lost a little less. The British pound, minus 1.9%. The euro, minus 1.7%. The Swiss franc, minus 1.3%. The dollar index gained 2.2%. The most important event that led to the reversal of the dollar last week was certainly the meeting of the Federal Open Market Committee and the press conference by Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke. His statement about the possibility of reducing the quantitative easing program before the end of 2013 and its completion in 2014 was somewhat surprising to us. Of course, we assumed that the central bank will reduce the incentive programs in the second half of the year, taking into consideration the general trend of economic recovery, but did not expect that Mr. President himself will mark the beginning of the days of possible QE reduction. Anyway, it was after Bernanke's speech that the US dollar followed a short-term trend reversal pattern against most of major currencies. As we have already seen, the European currencies were less sensitive than, for example, the yen and the Australian dollar. Last week, European macroeconomic data was still positive. Let us recall the growing inflation and retail sales in the UK, growing of PMI indices and economic sentiment in the Eurozone. This week is likely to be less intense than the previous one, from the point of view of global events. However, on Tuesday, you should pay attention to the block of statistics from the United States, including orders for durable goods and consumer confidence index. On Thursday, data on the labor market in Germany will be released. On Friday, we are waiting for the May data on inflation and industrial production in Japan, the preliminary June inflation data from Germany, and finally, the data on Canada's April GDP of Canada in April. Judging from the market sentiment indicators based on reports of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, the European currencies have already or almost liquidated net short speculative positions against the US dollar. According to the latest data among the 6 major currencies, only the yen, the Australian dollar, the Canadian dollar and the pound keep net short positions. Moreover, the recent changes in the positioning were not in favor of the US dollar. On the other hand, the latest CFTC report reflects the changes in the positioning, which took place before Mr. Bernanke's critical speech, and does not take into account its contribution to the decision-making by participants in the futures market. With great certainty, we can conclude that the most negative sentiment is now observed on the Japanese yen and the Australian dollar. For these currencies, we maintain medium-term negative forecast. The amount of net short positions in the Canadian dollar and the British pound is probably underestimated, and the amount of net long positions in the euro and Swiss franc overestimated. As for this week, on the whole, we expect further short-term positive wave development of the dollar. The euro dollar is traded around 1.31. There are technical sell signals. If it can be consolidated below 1.31, our next targets are 1.2970 and 1.2850. The pound dollar could not overcome the mark of 1.5780 last week, which could have served as a confirmation for us to open a long position. Now trading is performed below 1.54 if the signs for sale technicals are bearish, with possible targets at 1.52 and 1.50. The pair dollar yen, as we have expected, has found support around 93.60 and is now going to retest the mark of 100. You are watching weekly market overview by IFC Markets. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us every Tuesday. Bye.